How y'all doing? It's Katie here, and welcome to the fifth episode. It's November 14th. Today, find out Katie's top five trending headlines, our reactions to People's Sexiest Man Alive, along with Grammy nominations and more. Side note, voting results suck this year. Period. On that note, let's go. In this segment, I will be sharing this week's trending pop culture headlines. Time for Katie's top five in five. It's time to address the elephant in the room. On November 6th, the Associated Press called the 2024 presidential election race, in which felon and President-elect Donald Trump claimed victory over Vice President Kamala Harris with 312 electoral votes for Trump and 226 for Harris. Following the results, Vice President Harris made her conceding speech at her alma mater, Howard University, as thousands of supporters looked on and millions of Americans tuned in. VP Harris thanked her family, Governor Tim Walz, and his family, along with fellow supporters. She mentioned that it was time to acknowledge the loss of the election, but also that the fight is not over. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, Harris said. But hear me when I say the light of America's promise will always burn bright as long as we never give up and as long as we keep fighting. A week later, it is now clear that the Republicans will control the Senate. And I'm going a bit off script here, but as I wrote the script, it was still in the running for the House. But as of like literally an hour ago, with the needed 218 seats for control of the House, looks like the Republicans just secured a majority in the House of Representatives as well, according to the AP. Shocker. This gives the GOP majority control from all three branches of government. Legendary producer, songwriter, and composer Quincy Jones has sadly passed away on November 3rd at the age of 91 years old. Jones was truly one of a kind and was a generational inspiration for music. Many of the world's greatest musicians, including Aretha Franklin, Shaka Khan, and the King of Swing, Frank Sinatra, had hits from the trailblazing icon. I specifically left one artist for this next reason. To pay tribute and commemorate his career, Billboard shared some of Jones' top 20 charted tracks on the Billboard 100. And of course, I have to mention Michael Jackson with his mega hits like Billie Jean, Beat It, Rock With You, The Way You Make Me Feel, USA for Africa, We Are the World, and George Benson's Give Me the Night are just some of Quincy Jones' top charted smash hits from his career. Also, he left behind a $500 million fortune for his seven children. His legacy will live through his music for generations to come. Speaking of music, the Recording Academy announced nominees for the 2025 Grammy Awards on Friday, November 8th. Everyone say thank you, Beyonce, because the superstar broke her own record, gathering 11 nominations for her I can't even pronounce it right, Cowboy Carter album and its attendant singles. That's a personal high for her, beating her 10 nominations that she had back in 2009, according to Variety. Beyonce is included in the big three categories of the awards, which are for Record, Song, and Album of the Year. Joining her in those categories are also Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, Chaperone, and Sabrina Carpenter. Billie Eilish, Charlie XCX, Post Malone, and Kendrick Lamar are all up for 7 nominations of their own, making it a four-way tie. This year, the women dominated the nominations list. As always, Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter, Chaperone, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Billie Eilish, like I mentioned, are just some of the women nominated for all of the big awards of the show. The 2025 Grammys will air Sunday, February 2nd on CBS and Paramount Plus live from the Crypto.com arena in LA. People magazine just announced their pick for their sexiest man alive title and exclusive issue. The sexiest man alive is drumroll. Ugh. John Krasinski is People's 2024 sexiest man alive. Pause. The actor known for his role as Jim Halpert in The Office now holds the title. When asked about his initial thoughts and coveted title, Krasinski stated that he was in disbelief. Just immediate blackout, actually, zero thoughts. He said, other than maybe I'm being punked. That's how I feel right now. That's not how I wake up thinking, is this the day that I'll be asked to be the sexiest man alive? And yet it was the day you guys did it. You guys have really raised the bar for me. On Monday, November 11th, actress Megan Fox has announced that she is expecting her first child with rapper MGK. This is what the couple says is their rainbow baby, as Fox revealed last year that she had suffered a miscarriage. Nothing is ever really lost, Fox 38 captioned on her Instagram post on Monday. The first Instagram photo that she shared showed a naked Fox covered in what appeared to be like black paint, cradling her baby bump. This will be Fox's fourth child. She shares children Noah, 11, Bodhi, 9, and Journey, 7, with ex-husband Brian Austin Green. MGK also has a daughter, a 15-year-old daughter named Casey. So congrats to Megan and MGK and their beautiful growing family. To talk more in depth about these trending topics, oh, today's gonna be fun, are my co-hosts, Kaitlyn and Rosie. Hey girls, how's it going?
Hey,
Hey y'all.
y'all.
Hey.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hey.
The little sweaty emoji, like that's the type of
That's
hey
like,
that we're going with. I
um,
I know
oh,
we can go in order, I guess, because it's just a lot, a
it's
lot.
a lot to
But
like
we,
go back
but
and forth.
before like we even dive in, like I want to like just ask you, how are you guys doing? Like, where are we at with like the last week or so, like mentally?
Something that was very interesting that I saw on TikTok, how there were people posting and saying, did anyone else wake up at 4 in the morning and just felt like a shift?
Yeah,
Like,
Because
we
yeah.
literally
isn't
texted each
Hey,
other.
that is weird though, because I really did wake up at 4. I was like, let me look up, let me go on the Associated Press and see how we're doing.
Yeah.
that was, oh my God. But I
Oh
don't
my gosh. When I tell you my life has changed since that day, like it's not even
I really do feel like things shifted. Like, I will never forget like how I felt that night because I went out that night and like I was like constantly refreshing like all I was on 3 different like news platforms like just refreshing and I
yes.
remember getting home at like 1 a.m. I just sat on the floor and I like read it. I was just like I called like the race was called when I got home and
Yeah.
I was like, ain't no way. And I was just like, just
Yes.
but I was like, but in my head I was like an optimist and I was like, go to bed, like they're still counting, like and then I
Yeah.
woke up at three
Yep.
20 in the morning and I was
Yep.
like checked and I was like, okay.
Like
So
I
yeah.
don't know. People people were telling me not to like check on it, like take a break. I'm like, but how can you not? Like this was the race of I think of our generation so far, and not even just like presidential but local stuff that
Mhm.
were on the ballots. But digging into that first story headline that we are talking about, I think I cried more from Kamala Harris her concession speech more than I was about the results.
Mm,
To be honest with you, I don't know. It resonated in a way not only like presidential wise, but in our everyday lives.
mm.
How and
Mhm.
seeing the demographic polls and just that literally sums up like the work environment. No matter where you apply to, and you might have a degree, but are you a specific demographic? Are you specific like if you're a POC woman
Mm.
specifically, things are harder for us. You guys know things are harder for us, and I think this election term proved that not only presidential wise, but it kind of reflects on America and how it stands right now.
No, 100%. And like I was telling y'all, but that day after, I spent the entire day, not entire day, that's being dramatic, but like I spent like a good chunk of it crying. And I was just like, I was crying like as a woman because I
Yes.
was just like, the term your body, my choice being
Mm-hmm.
run around on
Mm-hmm.
the internet, like
Mm-hmm.
little third grade girls like being told that in their classroom, like that's
Yep.
ridiculous. And like the I saw a statistic that like on Twitter, on sorry, on X, like that term as well as like go back to the kitchen like skyrocketed hundreds of percent the day after the election. Like
Yeah.
just truly like as a woman, as a
Yep.
person of color, like those things like the
Yep.
day after just broke my heart.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
I I mean on social media like already like we're starting to see like a couple of incidents like that. Um I think one of the guys or like streamers that were trending that your body my choice follow up, I think
He got
they
doxxed,
yeah,
He got
yeah,
doxxed.
and
He
yeah.
his
got
and
doxxed.
Hey.
it's rumored that his house was set on fire. And I just hope the fire's okay.
Hey, mess
No,
around
truly.
and find out. Like this is a warning for anyone that wants to try that with me. Like
Mm.
don't even bother saying that to me because I will clock you so
Clock
fast.
you
Like
so fast.
like I have
You
my
know, so crazy.
yeah.
Like when I was out those like 2 days, I was weirdly like I kept being around men, and like both times, like the first one interaction. Well, I had two like I had one wholesome interaction and one weird one. Like the first weird one was a guy being like, "Oh, it's not that deep," and I was like,
It's
"Huh?"
funny when they say that. It's
And I
Oh
was
so
like,
my
"What do you
funny. Like, little
mean?"
do you
oh my
know.
gosh.
And he was, you know,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
then the second one was wholesome. Like I was at my boyfriend's like volleyball game, and like one of the guys like came to sit down, and he was like kept refreshing the map too, and he just like put his head down. He was a black guy, but he
Oh
like put his head down,
yeah.
and he was just like, "It's not looking good." And he looks at me, and I was
Oh
just like, "It's not looking good." And at the end of the night, like we kept like going back to each other, and the other night, he was just like, "Well, I'm gonna go home and cry," and I
yeah.
was like, "Me too." And he was just like, "Well,
No.
I hope to see you next week, and hopefully they're
Oh
still in America by then." And I was
wow.
like,
Wow.
"Oh,"
Oh,
like so.
Wow.
that's crazy.
You can see the contrast between like
Hmm.
who's affected and who really doesn't care. So,
That
Mhm.
is very true. Um, uh going back to work the following day. I mean, I wasn't expecting any sympathy based on like everything that's going on, but like no one asked if I was okay. Like no one was like concerned. Literally, like some of my coworkers actually were, I mean, just acting like it's a normal day, like laughing and things like that. And I had another coworker ask or like joke that they didn't vote. I'm like,
mm,
this is not funny though. Like that's not a
yeah,
joke. If you didn't vote, you're just as much as the problem as people that voted for Trump. Because look, now we got I mean, either what you wanted or what you didn't want, and now it's too late. You can't go back. So,
people looking or googling "Can I change my vote?" is like the most f around and find
mm,
out thing that I've seen on the internet
mm,
this week. Like truly, like it's so funny
Oh
to me.
my God.
Like
mm,
you voted
mm,
for it. Like we're stuck four
mm.
years. We got to deal with it now.
Yep,
So
we got to deal with it. And um, one thing I will say about this situation is like, not to get like super political, but it's our everyday lives. Like this it all starts in your local areas, guys. Like the people that you vote in, it starts there. Because right now, people that represent you in like Congress and Senate, they're gonna be dealing with all of these higher issues. Like they're trying to get rid of the Department of Education.
That is just
Different,
so fucking sad. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, yeah, no, go ahead. No,
Yeah.
because it's serious. Like it starts from a local level. You see how important it is now? I hope
Hmm.
those that weren't educated before, like your eyes are gonna open and you're gonna regret not either voting or voting for the opposite side. So, and this is also a wake-up call to the Democrats and fellow liberals that, I mean, where do they go from here? I think someone needs to step up, or people need to step up. Like, who's going to be that next generational leader? I think, because everyone right now is old, okay? Like, except like a few others, but I mean, we need like another generational leader. Um, and I think the next, because I know like the next 2 years or so, they'll like kind of like, do their thing and then like a general like election to see who
Yeah,
like,
in general
right?
elections.
So I think
Hmm.
the next 2 years are going to be very crucial for us.
Yep. Pay attention. Don't be stagnant. Stay informed. Stay educated.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Man, I don't know how these next 4 years are gonna be, but the entire, I mean, the day after, I just kept repeating what my dad had told me since I was young. My dad migrated from Mexico over here and he became a citizen. He would have talks with my brothers and I. He would just say, like, no matter what anyone tells you, like, you're an American, like, no matter what anyone says.
Right.
And, like, it's because of my dad that I thank him to like that. No matter what happened between us, like, we're good
Hmm.
now. But
Yeah.
he taught me how to be like a strong, independent woman. Like, yes, I have a boyfriend and everything, and I think I'm thankful to be with him. But my dad always told me like, make your own money, be your own woman, and no one can ever take that away from you. And when he told me that the first time, I was just like crying, and I just like I hope you know anyone else that's out there feeling scared, I hope they have something like that. That remind them like who they are and to not be like pushed around,
Right.
because like anytime I'm faced with a machismo, I'm just like,
Literally.
oh
Yeah.
hi,
Hmm.
Mm,
I'm my father's daughter, like
Right.
mm,
but it's just so crucial, don't speak up, don't be afraid, don't be like when I was young, I would like be quiet to seem nice. Like, no, don't do that. You're not
Right.
doing anyone a
Hmm.
favor. Like, don't.
Hmm.
No
and I've
matter
seen
if
Rosie
like
get mad. I've
Hmm.
seen it happen.
Right.
It's
No,
it's a
yeah.
scary day when Rosie gets mad. Don't
Yeah.
listen to me. No, like I'm not even being sarcastic.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No, yeah,
The
guys.
one time I saw Rosie get upset in the newsroom, I was like, oh, she just
I
got
was
mad.
like, y'all better get your stuff together.
I was
Like,
like, Rosie just stood up from her desk. Like that's
yeah, stood on business.
she stood up. Anyways, sorry.
But yeah, like you guys mentioned, like the next 4 years, it's gonna be crazy, but we all gotta like stand up and just speak out whatever. Like I don't my as I mentioned earlier, like my personality like somewhat changed. Like if I recognize BS, I'm gonna say it now. I've been I let too much stuff slide,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, even if it's like clocking your close ones who happen to vote for,
Mm-hmm.
which I have, not close relatives, but like if you have to clock someone and have to like remove them from your life just to, save your inner peace at this point, do it. Unfollow who you need to unfollow. I've unfollowed a lot of people actually following this election. But do what you guys want to do to save your inner peace because you're gonna need it for the next 4 years. That's all I gotta say.
And it also
Mm-hmm.
says about like, do you feel safe around them too? Like,
Right. Mm,
will they speak up? Will they stand up for you? Will they speak up? Will they
right.
defend you? And then it's like, then you're not really a friend. It's just
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm,
But I will play devil's advocate and say that if you see an opportunity to try to sway them and to educate them just so like they're more informed for the next time around,
mm-hmm,
if that opportunity presents itself, I think,
mm-hmm,
educating and informing people is like truly a great power to have,
mm-hmm.
especially if you are a person who is constantly staying informed and like about local issues, especially like those elections will come up, sooner than you think. So if you can try to sway people, I think do it. But if
Yes.
you are not in a safe environment, then leave them alone and save your peace.
Yes.
Yeah, it's those that like don't listen. They just try to be louder than you to sound
Mm-hmm.
more correct, and it's like, okay, man, like let
Yes.
me
Like, okay.
just remove myself from this because you're not gonna want to listen. You want me to listen, but you're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
listen to me. So
Yeah.
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 Yes. And before we move to the next story, I want to say even though my coworkers and people close around me there didn't follow up with me or like ask how I'm doing, I want to point out there to the listeners, Rosie and Kaitlyn, we all like checked in on each other like following the election, and I thought that was very like important, like just for my mental health and things like that. So like I don't know, this last week or so like really opened my eyes, but that was very comforting, and thank you guys. I want to say that.
Love
I
you.
love
Of
Love.
you.
course.
Yes. Right, yeah. But moving on quickly, I want to talk on like Quincy Jones' legacy real quick because
When
I
you were going through the list, I was like, I don't know
didn't
if you
like
saw me dancing, but I was like, I was playing the songs
girl.
in my head.
I didn't even go through like the whole 20, but literally his pretty much almost like half of his top charted hits are from Michael Jackson. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like if we're going from like banger to banger, like his
Banger for
song,
banger.
like no skips, no skips. I
I'm
don't
not gonna
know.
lie, like I read through like all of the Michael Jackson ones, and I was like, but in my head, I was playing "Give Me the Night," and I was like, like
Period.
the funk, like
Yeah.
bass on it is
Hmm.
just so good. Like,
His
uh,
versatility is
mm.
crazy. Because how do you go from producing for Michael Jackson to Frank Sinatra?
And
Like what
also have Frank, yeah, like have Frank Sinatra and Aretha
a
Franklin
what a
in your
resume.
repertoire. Like,
Woo,
wow,
what a
He is a
resume.
one in a lifetime producer,
Right.
composer.
Yes.
Like I'm
you'll be
thankful
missed.
for what's so funny? Okay, so I mean you guys know that I love movies, but as a kid, I didn't really understand the concept of films. I didn't
Yeah.
know that different people were going to be in different movies, you know? I thought they
Hmm.
were going to stay like in the
In their
same,
movie,
Hmm.
like that's
yeah.
it. Like I had no idea who Debbie Reynolds was because I just saw her in Halloween Town. So as I got older, I'm like, you know? So
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
how I feel about like Austin Powers and Goldmember with everyone having like a little cameo at the beginning of the film.
Hmm.
So like that's when I discovered about Quincy Jones when he came out, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I saw that that's like one of like his like I guess he didn't do like a lot of cameos. So when I found out who Quincy Jones was because of that movie, like
Yeah.
it opened up my eyes to
Hmm.
like, what a wonderful and amazing man he was. And when I found out about like his sorry, my mom was in the background.
Oh no, you're good. You're chilling.
um so when I found out about his passing, the first thing that came into my mind was, oh my God, like how is Rashida Jones doing? Because
Right.
we all know how much she loved her dad.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And luckily, I mean, I grew up in a household where we played a lot of, I mean, obviously a lot of songs and a lot of artists that he's pretty much produced. Like Shaka Khan is a staple in my household, yeah. And just Michael Jackson, just everything. And it's crazy because I know next year, I believe, the Michael Jackson biopic is coming out, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a segment in there featuring Quincy Jones because just
I
the
better be.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because just the history of like every time people interviewed Quincy Jones about his process of um the Thriller and just various songs off that album, um his thought process of keeping things elements in the song while my Jackson, he was like kind of hesitant, but his intuition, Quincy Jones, was always right, and look
Mhm.
at all the hits that he's created from it, and that's how he's gonna be remembered, as someone like very influential, and he pioneered literally your favorite producers now, guys, like were most likely influenced, they were influenced by him, and yeah, his legacy will live on. And speaking of music, We can quickly talk about the Grammys again. Now that the nominations are out, as you guys probably remember, I think our last episode we were listing like people that we thought were gonna be nominated. I for sure knew like Sabrina Carpenter was gonna be up for like at least three, and it looks like,
Hmm.
right. I think she's up for like four or like three. Um,
Hmm.
but how do you guys feel? Or do you guys feel there's any snubs anywhere? I do, but I'll see my.
I do. Well, my snub is always Ariana Grande. Like
Oh my God.
Eternal Sunshine
That,
is arguably her best body of work
exactly.
ever.
Yep.
And
From
like,
beginning to
yes,
end.
she's nominated, but like,
For
I
the
feel
bigger awards,
the
like
bigger word.
she wasn't gonna win. She definitely should have been nominated. But also to
I
me,
think video, like video of the
yes,
year, she should have been
yes,
like nominated for because that
yes,
is the cinematography in We Can't Be Friends. Like I cried.
yes.
Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yes,
so
exactly.
that is where I'll speak my piece. Also, I don't know. I'm scared that Taylor Swift is gonna like sweep, and if she does, I'm gonna throw a hissy fit on that episode of the Grammy edition.
People are already like throwing Beyonce versus Taylor Swift thing. I'm like, can y'all let it die?
Let it die.
Let someone else take it.
Let it die, let
Yeah.
it fucking die.
But someone I think that deserved a nomination, at least in the dance pop music category, is Dua Lipa. I She didn't get zero
Mm,
nominations. I think she should have
I didn't even.
got nominated for Houdini at least. Um,
Mm.
like what's the title of her album? Radical Optimism or something like that. There's various songs in there that was very catchy, experimental, but Houdini, in my opinion, was a hit, and I mean she charted high with that song. So I'm really conflicted why she didn't get nominated for at least that category. But some people I am excited to see. Following up with our girl Money Long, it looks like she is nominated for like at least three of those R&B categories. I'm happy about that.
That's a
Um,
great album, so I'm
yes,
very happy about that.
yes. And I'm excited to see Kendrick Lamar like nominated. I don't know if he'll perform because it'll be so close to the Super Bowl, but
I don't want him to though.
yeah, like the
Can't get
fact that
enough.
he's nominated for a diss song is crazy. And on a whole nother level, it's just awesome. I don't know. And it just so it's like an ultimate freedom of a speech like um moment, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
the fact that he was able to say what he needed to say, get off his chest, and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
for his like lyricism and all that, like get nominated for an award is crazy. Like I don't know. But we'll see what happens in February, and guys, we will be following up on that. Um Another voting result that we didn't
Sorry.
collectively didn't like. Oh, what a week. Is the sexiest man alive. I've been holding back, but as soon as the announcement dropped, Rosie shared in our chat the winner, John Krasinski. Oh my God, it totally
It
went
hurts.
another direction.
I I think I said this in our bit about like predicting Sexiest Man Alive, but I remember saying that roll the clip, just kidding, don't roll the clip. But that I predicted that it was going to be a mediocre looking white man who is past his prime.
And boy, were you right. Mm.
Like
Definitely.
like
I don't know, man, because John,
like nothing against him.
right,
He's a good looking man.
He's a
He's a
nice man.
nice,
I will
funny
say he's a
man.
family-oriented man, devoted to his wife, which we don't see in Hollywood that often. I will give him that.
Mm.
But for this title, I'm thinking of someone relevant, someone impactful the last year, like Pedro Pascal, like I mentioned the last episode.
Jonathan
I
Oh my
want to
Bailey.
God,
fall on my knees. Like,
like someone impactful.
why?
Jonathan Bailey, who's like
Bailey.
in his bag right now, like someone, Glenn Powell, like these are not people I personally find attractive, but someone that's relevant. But they
Wait,
should have
pause.
had Dev
Wait, time
Patel.
out. You
What?
don't find Jonathan Bailey attractive?
I don't know. I think it's because I think
Is
it's
it
just
because
because
it's because we don't have access to him? Is that why?
not even that. Like I think his little sideburns and Bridgerton like threw me off. And like since that, I just picture him there. But he's
All
just
right.
charming though. It's like his flirty personality is very
Mm.
attractive. I do have to
Mm.
say. But I mean, like the last episode we mentioned, there's like no diversity. Dev Patel was right there. Dev Patel was right there. Manny Jacinto was right
Jacinto was right
there.
there.
A sigh of relief I
Brandon
would have made
was
if
right
Dev
there.
was nominated. If he had
What
won, I mean, I'm sorry.
man? You know who
Ugh.
I think they have like a list of like honorees in the People Sexy Man Alive. They'll like name like some of the Hollywood Sexy Man Alive, not the, but like lower categories. Why was Benny Blanco there?
Why was Benny Blanco there?
He had
Why?
no business being
Benny
there.
Blanco
But
and Sexiest Man Alive should never be in the
two,
same sentence.
two.
And I just want to say that I don't want anyone on the interwebs to say that women need men and not the other way around. Because
Period.
who
Mm.
in their right mind was talking about Benny Blanco before Selena Gomez? Nobody.
Nobody.
I'm
But
Nobody.
upset.
Nope.
I
goodness
didn't, and
gracious.
also, why is his dogs out in that photo? Like, I don't want to see that.
OMG.
Get that out of my
But
face.
it
Anyways,
totally went
I
south,
digress.
guys. Like I thought they were gonna go a different direction and they went even further. Like I still can't believe it. I'm very like frustrated. But I can't wait to read the hot takes later because a lot of people yeah, it should be fun. Um and then I'll briefly talk about Megan Fox, like pregnancy real quick. Um I think
I thought they
it's
broke up.
I know I did
I was
too.
shocked.
I did too.
Yeah,
Um
I thought they were like long on it.
but hey,
Wow.
I mean I mean congrats to them. I'm not gonna lie. For
You know
someone to
whose
like
pregnancy we should have talked about?
who
Sky Jackson.
I know. Homegirl, like, I mean, I think everyone was like already like suspect, and then she finally gave in and was like, guys, I'm pregnant.
Yeah,
But
that
a
was
lot
just a
of
side
a
note.
lot of pregnancies this season actually. Quite a bit. I know our last episode we said like Giselle was pregnant as well, but congrats to Megan. I know it's not easy to try to conceive a child again after suffering something severe like a miscarriage. So
Yeah,
um that's awesome to see that. And I don't really care for MGK, but Megan Fox as a an actress and like just pretty much like that girl next door type of actress, she is I think she still is that girl in some ways. Um, but uh yeah, that's all I'll say on that. Congrats to
yeah.
her.
Congrats to her. Congrats to
Yeah,
them. Congrats to MGK for bagging
exactly.
her.
Yeah.
That's all I have to
And that
say.
and that's another example of what Kaitlyn just said about women don't need men, men need women.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Congrats, sir. Good job.
And um going on to our next little segment, I want to ask you guys, since it's still fall and it's starting to be breezy out here in California, somewhat. I know the sun has been out, but for the most part, it's starting to cool down. It's cozy season. I wanted to ask you guys, what are some of your fall essentials? It can be like clothing items, food, your
Mm,
favorite fall shows. What do you usually do in fall or like wear?
that's a good question.
Well,
Sweater weather,
yeah.
top of mind. uh, Rosie, you go ahead.
I had to really hone in and think ahead of time for fall because I definitely go through like the seasonal like what do they call it again?
Seasonal depression?
Yeah,
Yes.
so, thank you,
Yeah,
seasonal
girl.
depression.
I'm fighting off seasonal
Uh
depression as we speak.
Right.
Today I'm not gonna lie, I got up like close to like 11 a.m. just because I was like slumping, but I'm like,
Hmm.
no, you have to fight it,
Yeah.
because like this past summer I had a terrible summer because of like the post depression blues. So I was sleeping, not even sleeping, just rotting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so because I already had known that I typically get like that in the fall, I wanted to like think, okay, how am I gonna put myself ahead of this?
Mhm.
So I've just been drinking like tea, my favorite teas to like
Yeah.
wake me up. Drinking a little coffee
Yeah.
because I'm not really much of a coffee drinker, but drinking coffee. Just wearing comfortable clothes. I
Yeah.
started watching Over the Garden Wall because it's just, even
Okay.
though it's for Halloween season, I love
Hmm.
it in the
Hmm.
fall. Uh, I'm starting to like think of movies that I want to watch. Obviously, I anytime I can watch The Lord of the Rings anytime, right?
Yeah.
but I love watching the extended editions when it's raining and just to
Yes.
cuddle up.
Yes.
And I'm trying to follow and love more with cooking. So I've been trying to like look up like soups, things like that because
Okay,
like
let her cook. Let her cook real quick.
yeah, I do not want to get even more depressed than I usually do, like
I'm
during like
heavily.
Yeah.
the fall because I mean, look at the mental state we go through because California having to
Yes.
like go through the time change, like our
That this time
bodies.
change has messed me up.
Oh,
It's
it's
like
the
it,
sun's
I'm
already
tired
starting to
at
set down like at
5.
3.
right.
Yeah,
Because why is
I
it
know.
like right now, like we're recording and it's like 4:30 and this it's already like dimming down like
Mm-hmm.
severely. By the time we end today's episode, it'll probably like almost dark. And it wouldn't
Yeah.
even be 5 o'clock yet. Like in
Yeah,
some ways it I go to sleep pretty late. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like on average night, I would say like okay, let's just say like 2:30.
girls. Sometimes I don't think you even sleep, girl.
Right.
Like I remember when I went to when I went to Mexico, I was in TJ like 5 in the morning posting, and you liked it. I'm like, girl,
Yes,
go to
I
sleep.
know. I'd be up, guys. But I would say the only positive thing is like with the sun going down sooner, it has helped me go to bed by like one latest. But
Mm-hmm.
to go back to fall essentials, right now my fall essentials are obviously hoodies. I love hoodies.
Yeah. I love a hoodie.
I love a good hoodie. What else? Fall
And
essentials
again, oh my God.
like cold, like iced drinks, but specifically like iced mocha type of drink.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not heavy on coffee either, but that a good cinnamon like little topping on top, like
Yeah.
chocolate drizzle. Oh,
Mm.
let me not get started. Oh,
I
oh,
am excited to get my coffee tomorrow. I'm probably gonna get
ooh,
some kind of apple crisp
ooh,
thing
mm-mm-mm.
or chai. Actually, my fall essential
Ooh,
is a chai. I love getting a
mm.
chai in the fall. It just feels like so.
Exactly.
Mm.
No, for real.
And my friend group, we call ourselves soup sluts. So shout out soup sluts. We all love a good soup. So
Ooh, a good soup
you
is
see,
delicious.
like I'll have my like blue clay pot out at all times because I'm always like
Yeah.
making some kind of soup
Whew,
or
I
stew.
love that.
We
Yeah.
need to have
Love
a
that.
Friendsgiving and I'll bring up tamales.
Yeah, we need to set
Mm.
that up. We need to set that
Oh,
up. But
tamales.
another
Oh, a
fall
little side
essential.
note. Oh, sorry.
No, what were you saying? Go ahead.
Uh, um, so I've been trying to get into matcha, and every time I think of matcha, Kaitlyn, you're automatically attached
Uh,
to that. So whenever you see me post matcha, like anything Kaitlyn, like just be like, oh, Rosie was thinking of me
I'm
because
screaming.
like,
Oh my gosh, that made my day. Oh my
I'm,
god, that just gave me so much life.
I'm
I
not
love
fully
matcha.
I'm not fully on the matcha train yet. It hasn't like
You just
really
gotta
like
put a sweetener in it. I promise,
true.
it's good.
But matcha ice cream is so good.
How do
I've
you
never
like
had
matcha ice
that.
cream and not? Oh, it's good. How do you like matcha ice cream and not matcha? That's interesting.
I mean, I guess I need to try other places that serve matcha. I think
Just okay.
maybe
If you've only had matcha from Starbucks, you
mm-mm.
haven't had matcha.
No, what's that place called? Seven Leaves? Seven Leaves?
I think their powder is. Uh,
That's the only place I
that's not.
tried matcha and I was like, but maybe if I actually like go to like I don't know, a different type of cafe vibe, like I
I
don't
got
know.
you. I
Uh
got you. I
see
got you.
I yeah. But
Mm.
I think another fall essential, I mean in terms of show, I mean it's more like holidays. I'm deep down in the Hallmark movies right now. Like
I saw your Instagram note.
I'm deep down in the Hallmark movies. Like, oh my God, it's so bad.
Girl, let me know which ones you're enjoying because I haven't
Yes.
watched a good Hallmark movie in so long.
Let me
Like,
know because some of them are, I mean, obviously cringe, but it's just like I need that cringe in my life right now.
You just need something simple and
Yes,
predictable.
yeah. And there's like
yes,
some
Yeah.
Netflix
yes.
ones. There's some Netflix ones coming out like with Lindsay Lohan. And,
Lindsay Lohan, that
yeah,
is her
mhm.
genre.
That is her. Like she's in her bag. I'm so happy
She's
for her.
I am so happy for her because I grew
Yeah.
up obsessing with like uh Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, obviously Freaky
Yeah.
Fridays. So
Mhm.
it's like as we got
Yep.
because we're practically like almost like the same age. So as we're
Mhm.
getting older, I'm just like praying for him, like, I'm
Mhm.
I, I'm doing the same thing for Amanda. I'm praying that,
Yeah.
she It's a
Yup.
comeback too, but lady,
Yeah.
she's just
I'm so happy for her. Like
glowing.
she is going right now, and like she is in her moment, and I'm so happy for her. Also, usually I'm not excited for reboots. I don't know if we touched base on it, but the sequel or reboot sequel to Freakier Friday, that's coming out next
Mhm.
year with her and Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm excited, like just to see them return on together on the big screen, and certain people are gonna be in the movie as well. I
Eee.
love that for us. But yeah, I'm so happy for her. But anyways, moving on. So now we are gonna be moving on to our hot take segment. And we asked you guys what was your reaction, or did you guess the people's sexiest man alive selected celebrity correctly? And obviously a lot of you guys were like no. But I picked about four from the submissions that we got. Thank you guys for submitting, by the way. And we're gonna go through some of these. I'll read the first one. A couple of them are like the same about the same person. So
Mm,
the first one says better John than quote unquote Shivers Benny Blanco.
that's fair. That's fair.
Mm. And then someone said in regards to the news, questionable, but also with the Benny Blanco selection.
Mm.
Like, it's like
We're all. I
it,
don't know why they released that. I think they were just baiting,
like
but
of all the
why
people,
did you post that?
I don't know if I'll ever get past that selection. When as soon as they showed him as one of them, I was like, oh, this has to be a joke. But
Mm.
the third one says, I definitely expected someone else. There were so many standout male actors talent this year. I agree. Like we mentioned, Jonathan Bailey, Pedro Pascal, Dev Patel, Bill Skarsgård. Oh my God.
Mm.
Um, Michael Ealy. I will forever say this. Daniel Kaluuya. Like the list goes on. We could have had many. And the last one says, I totally thought it would be Pedro Pascal or Glenn Powell. This feels random. Love him though. Um, and this is yeah. And just to wrap it up, like this is not us like saying he's ugly or
Not. Yeah.
charming. He's very much like attractive in his own right, like in an awkward kind of way, in my opinion. But
Mm.
this is just our opinions. Um, but I mean, I don't think a good cover has been selected from people since like 20,
2018.
yeah, like back in the before the 2020.
I think 2018 was Michael B. Jordan, no?
He was, yeah, like around there, and that was like the last decent selection in
Oh
my.
no, it was Idris Elba. That was
Oh,
2018.
another good selection.
Yeah.
I think around that time it was like like a few back to back like black men, and then they just went back to
Yeah, they went.
the white men
You guys
agenda.
got 3 years in a row. After that, you
They
guys
said,
got to
"Here
wait
you
again.
go."
Here
They
you
said,
go. Damn.
"I'm like, dang,
Damn.
they gotta change it up." I'm so tired of this.
Okay, but like, if that's the rule, then give me my Asian man.
Right, like give us
Like,
some in a row because there's some way overdue. But anyways, thank you guys for submitting. Like we had a lot of submissions this time, and I just picked like like four, and just keep submitting, and you'll probably be featured in our podcast. Our next episode will be around Thanksgiving ish, so just keep tuning in to Instagram and see what the theme is for that week, and you'll never know. You might be anonymously added to our episode and featured. So thank you guys for submitting, and thank you to my fellow hosts, Rosie and Kaitlyn, for sharing such a passion for pop culture like me. We are gonna have a blast as we've been doing, and this is the fifth episode. Like this is crazy. Like the fact that like it's growing in such a great way. I'm very appreciative on that. And obviously we have a lot of cool things prepared as the show continues. And I just want to say thank you guys for listening to a silly podcast about serious pop culture moments. This has been
Rosie.
Caitlin.
and Kadie here. See you next time for the sixth episode of Hey, How Y'all Doing? Releasing on November 28th. Bye.
Woo.
Bye.
Bye.
Slay.